The Voice That Echoed Within, a Zen story on the transformative power of words. The temple hall was silent, yet alive. Alive with breath, presence, and the silent current of attention. Incense spiraled through shafts of morning light as the monk stood at the center, his hands gently folded, his gaze soft but unwavering. Before him, dozens of seekers sat cross-legged, their eyes open and ears ready. On that day, the monk spoke not of rituals or scriptures, but of something both ancient and immediate: the power of words. Words, he began, are more than sounds. They shape the way we see the world. They shape how we see each other, and even how we see ourselves. He spoke slowly, deliberately, as if each syllable were a drop of water touching stillness. A kind word can lift a weary heart. A cruel word can cut deeper than a blade. What we say, and how we say it, becomes the world others must live in. A hush of reflection spread over the crowd. Eyes softened, heads tilted slightly, but not all were convinced. From the back of the hall, a man stood up abruptly, disrupting the quiet like a rock tossed into a pond. "This is nonsense," he declared. "Words are just noise. They vanish into air. They have no real power." All heads turned. The monk, still composed, looked at the man with calm interest. "Do you truly believe that?" he asked. The man nodded firmly. "Yes, they are mere vibrations. Why give them such weight?" The monk did not argue. He simply invited the man forward. "Come then, let us speak, face to face." The man hesitated, but pride led him to step forward. He stood now in front of the monk, eye to eye with calmness he couldn't quite understand. "I hear your doubt," said the monk, "but may I ask, have you never been hurt by a word?" The man laughed. "Hurt? Maybe irritated, but hurt? No, I'm not that weak." The monk nodded slowly. "I see." Then, without warning, his tone changed. "You," he said sharply, "are a fool. A truly ignorant fool. And to argue so stubbornly in front of all these seekers, only a worthless man would do that." A gasp rippled through the hall. The man stiffened, his face turning red. "How dare you? What kind of monk insults someone like this? You pretend to speak of wisdom, but your words are like poison." The monk tilted his head. "But why are you angry?" The man trembled with rage. "Because you insulted me." The monk's voice softened. "But you just said words are nothing, mere sounds, vibrations in the air. Did I throw a stone at you?" Silence. The man stood frozen. The room, which had been thick with tension, now became still once more. But this time, the silence held realization. The man's anger faded into something heavier, something closer to shame. His eyes fell. His shoulders lowered. "I understand," he whispered. "Forgive me. I was wrong." The monk placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "My friend," he said kindly, "do you see now? If words can cause anger, they can also bring peace. If they can wound, they can also heal. Words carry meaning, not because of their sound, but because of the hearts that send them, and the hearts that receive them." The man bowed deeply, not just in apology, but in awakening. So did the crowd. The lesson that day was not just spoken, it was lived. Later that evening, the man remained behind, sitting on the temple steps as twilight fell. The monk joined him, offering tea. The man stared at the cup. "All my life," he said quietly, "I thought strength meant not letting words affect me, that only actions mattered. But I've wounded people with my mouth far more than with my hands." The monk sipped gently. Words are subtle arrows. Often, by the time they land, we've already walked away. But the wound stays. The man closed his eyes. I remember my father's voice when I was young. Harsh, sharp. Even now, those words echo when I feel afraid. The monk nodded. We all carry the voices of others within us. That is why we must choose our words with care. Speak what is kind, what is true, what is needed. A breeze passed, rustling the bamboo. The man looked up. Can I undo the harm I've caused? You cannot unspeak what was said, the monk replied, but you can speak anew. Let your words become seeds. Begin again, not by erasing the past, but by planting what heals. From that day on, the man became a frequent visitor at the temple. He still spoke, but he listened more. He still questioned, but with humility. And sometimes, when others dismissed the power of words, he would smile and say, "Come, let me tell you a story." The voice does not end when the sound fades. It echoes, within and without. A single sentence, offered in anger or in love, can shape a lifetime. Words are not merely tools of communication. They are instruments of karma, of connection, of creation. We must speak not merely from the tongue, but from the heart. For every word is a ripple that returns, shaping the self, the other, and the world we all share. Speak as though each word may remain forever, because in some hearts, it will.